All right, good afternoon, everybody. Here we have Dr. Hill. He is the Director of Student Success and Athletic Engagement here at Point University. He has a background in higher ed, 20 plus years. And so this is someone I consider an expert in higher education. And he's going to shed some light on relational leadership. So, Dr. Hill, first question is what would you define relational leadership as?
I think relational leadership is about focusing on positive outcomes within the organization and building relationships with people within it. Relational leadership really involves a true understanding of the importance of the people that comprise the organization. And the organization really can't function without having those great relationships built with those people that have to carry out the work that needs to be done. And so as the leader, what you want to do is put the people that work with you and for you in a place where they know that you appreciate what they contribute to what's going on within the organization. And you're building that positive outcome oriented environment for them to thrive by understanding what impact they have on the ultimate result of the organization.
Okay, good. Dr. Hill, can you give us a couple of scenarios of where you think this model would be most effective?
I think in the higher education model, it's very effective because you have so many people that work in so many different areas within the organization. For example, you have people that focus on fundraising. You'll have individuals that focus on the educational or the academic efforts in the institution. You'll have an athletic component. You'll have a business department. There's so many varying degrees of things that are done within a higher educational setting that using those positive relationships is very important because it can have everyone aligned with what those things are from an organizational structure that you value and really help those people understand the role that they play within what the organization is ultimately trying to accomplish.
Okay, good. So I think you are someone who, you've been around for a while, seen many different leadership theories and different leaders in general. Um, have you yourself practiced this model? If so, how have you seen it? How have you seen it be a positive thing? And how have you seen it be a negative thing? And if not, what have you seen someone who's done this good or bad?
Yeah, I think that's a very complex question, and I'll try to break it down in a couple of different components. One is I try to practice servant leadership. I believe that as a leader, your role is to really serve the people that you're in a position to serve. And so one of the things that I really practice is being someone who doesn't believe they're bigger than the organization, but understanding their role within the organization is to serve the people that you represent. And so within that, I think the relational component becomes very important because by building those relationships and focusing on those positive outcomes, you're able to better lead the people that you're in position to serve. And they understand that service is something that everyone within that organization is responsible for doing. A great example of this was something we learned when we did some Disney leadership training, and that is that they had the people that actually were doing all the grunt work, the washing of the dishes, and the people that washed the tablecloths, and they went and they were able to see the actual setup of the venue, and it helped them understand the importance of the work that they were doing by having the people that did all the hard work that didn't get to see why they were washing all the dishes and why they were all washing all the sheets. They were able to go to a finished venue before anyone else viewed it to see what it would look like. And so the importance of that was that it taught them the importance of their role within the ultimate outcome of what the organization is focusing on doing. And that is that putting the people that come to Disney in a place where they're having a magical experience and that they buy into the fact that everybody is part of that experience. And so part of that relational leadership and creating those positive outcomes is so the person at the top of the organization and the person at the bottom of the organization understands that their role is just as important. And by building those relationships, that they can stay focused on the positive outcomes to put the organization in the most advantageous position.
Okay. Okay. So what would you
And
say?
I don't know if I answered the con question of that. I think the only thing that's a negative about it, if I can find one, is that it's definitely more time prohibitive. You'll have to spend a lot of time to build relationships with individuals in the organization. But my thought is that that's a little bit of a trade-off. So while you'll have to spend a lot more time on the front side, there's a book that I love called The Speed of Trust. Is by building those relationships, you now will have trust built in. So things that may have taken 2 weeks to get done, you can get done at a much quicker pace because you've built those relationships. Everybody knows what everybody's agenda is. Everybody knows why things are being done, and things that may have taken a lot longer now can be done in a more expedited fashion because you've built that trust within the team members within the organization. And so the only con is that on the front side, you'll probably spend a lot more time to build those relationships because building relationships requires time. It's a much more intensive approach and probably a lot more, a much more labor intensive approach. And so I think you might have some time efficiencies on the front side, but I think you can build those up on the back side. I think that probably would be the only con I would really think of when I think about relational leadership.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So Dr. Hill, as we wrap up this time, is there anything else that you would like to share with us about relational leadership?
I think the only thing is that I think it's important to recognize that, and one of my big beliefs is that the people are the most important part of any organization. And so nothing should take precedent over having great relationships with people and focusing on creating an environment where people matter. I think so oftentimes in organizations, we think about facilities, we think about bottom lines, and I don't think we think enough about the people that do the work every day, that put the institution in the position that it's in, and that they represent the institution. So investing in your people is a critical component of having a great organization. And I don't think that people value enough the importance of the relationships that they build and how important they ultimately are to the success of the organization.
Mm, mm. That's good. That's good. Dr. Hill, thank you for your time. It's always a blessing hearing you speak, and especially when it comes to whether it's relational stuff or personal stuff. So I definitely appreciate your time today.
Well, I definitely appreciate you listening to me, and thank you all for giving me the time to talk. And hopefully after you wake up, maybe you'll remember something that it might place a little bit of value in something that I said. I know my kids, they enjoy hearing me not talk, so I'm sure you all feel the same way as well.
Thank you.